It looks like Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has bounced back to the lead by 6 points, according to a new Reuters poll. The news comes as a drag to Republican candidate Donald Trump, who finally came back into the lead last week. But can the United States truly gauge who's going to win come November? ILTV's Steve Leibowitz sat down with leading Israeli political science professor Avraham Diskin, who says that America's entire electoral process is a mess.
We didn't have such dramatic elections with such a successful outsider in the past. And usually when you had someone who was perceived as extreme either because of his positions or his personality, such a person was not successful on the election.
You're talking about Donald Trump.
I'm talking about Donald Trump. You know, we have the presidents on the left of McGovern and on the right of Barry Goldwater. I'm not judging their policies, but they were perceived as extreme people, one to the left and the other to the right, and they were not very successful. What we have today, according to the recent polls, is that about 2/3 of the voters don't trust Hillary Clinton, and about 2/3 of the voters don't trust Trump. So both candidates are really problematic candidates, and that, on the other hand, the elections seem to be very close. So the main question is really the turnout. The turnout will decide the elections. The turnout among lower class white voters, if it's going to be high, is going to help Trump. And if it's going to be high amongst Latino and Afro-Americans, it's going to help Hillary. Right now, she's leading, according to the polls, in most of the swing states, not in Georgia, but in most of the others. And it looks as if she has a better chance, but it's really too early to call. Now, the electoral system of the United States is, in my opinion, is very problematic. Because, for instance, you can have, forget about primaries, which are problematic because of other reasons, but the electoral college can elect a president who doesn't enjoy a majority. Last time it happened with Al Gore, but it happened 3 times before. You know, Cleveland lost once elections like that. Andrew Jackson lost. Andrew Jackson tried to change the Constitution in the 1820s, and but in order to do that, you need a majority of 2/3 in both houses. And in the 1960s, if I'm not wrong, there was a majority in the House, but not in the Senate. So it's a very, very problematic electoral system. The primaries, you know that they're conducted by each party in a different way. And in each state, it's not the same, really. You have caucuses, you have open primaries, you have closed primaries. So it's really quite a messy electoral system. Let me just say that, for instance, in 2008, Hillary Clinton got more votes in the primaries than Barack Obama, but less delegates in the convention. So she gave up long before the elections, in spite of the fact that she had more voters, more supporters in the primary. It's really a very problematic system. We have to remember that it was invented when the United States was formed, you know, and democracy was not something that people experience in other countries at the time. And on the other hand, in spite of all my criticism, I have to say, you know, the United States is a glorious democracy. We have to realize that. It's not perfect. There are problems with every system, okay, with other systems. But, you know, you see in these elections really the impact of all the formal rules of the election. You see the impact of that, and I hope it's not going to be realized in a negative way in the policies of whoever is elected. I hope that America will function, will lead the free world, will lead the democratic world in spite of all these problems.